Oh, it's a twist off? No.
Inspired by the adventures of our nurses, therapists, and techs, A Beer with Atlas is the only healthcare traveling, craft beer drinking podcast. Each week, we'll open a few beers, talk about the brewery and the style of beer, and then dive into some research curated specifically for each episode. In the end, we hope each one sounds like a conversation you'd have with your friends while enjoying a few cold ones.
Welcome to the final episode of Mainstream May with A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
I'm Dolan.
I'm sad because I like these beers a lot.
You know, there's a reason for that.
Yeah?
Most people like them.
Yep.
I'm ready to go back to those beers that have 41 check-ins.
Oh, yeah.
Those are fun, too. But, you know, these are great. These are usually mainstream beers are a little more easy drinking.
Yep.
You know, we're not talking 14.5% stouts.
Chewy,
super
90
duper sour beers.
IBU.
Yeah,
Triple IPAs.
I mean, I'm ready for those anytime.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
This is definitely, although the styles are different, the idea is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Most people can get these and drink these and enjoy these beers.
So this beer, available in all 50 states from Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy. Now, maybe not necessarily available in Gillette, Wyoming.
No.
However,
put a fine point on it.
somewhere in Wyoming, I bet you're getting this.
It's there. Yeah.
So Leinenkugels is located in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. I'm sure you've heard their ads. I hear them on the radio all the time because
really?
Wisconsin's really close to Chicago, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and Chippewa Falls is pretty close. So they advertise on Cubs radio all the time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Currently the 7th oldest brewery in the United States.
Huh.
Leinenkugels.
7th oldest.
7th oldest.
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Were they in 1800s founding?
1867.
So there's, okay, Yingling, we know is the oldest. Narragansett or something like that in Massachusetts. I don't know how to say that
maybe,
one.
yeah.
That one might be. What? I wonder who's older. That's a good question that I don't know.
Well-
Just smell this, right?
it's just-
You've already had a little sip.
It's just lemony
Yeah.
delicious.
It doesn't. A lot of times you'll get beer with some flavor and it still smells like a beer. This just smells like lemonade.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just a nice mix of beer and lemon and
Just be careful, Dolan, when you put yours down because mine
Yeah.
raised up a little in the bottle.
did
there.
it?
Yeah. Yours looks okay.
Yeah.
I must have slammed it down too hard. Not the beer, but the bottle.
yep.
Okay, so this is the first beer that I did research on. I read multiple articles on, and there was just so much information and stuff to talk about that I didn't do any other specific research or like, how am I going to find time to kill? None of that, because there's just so much of it. And I think it's probably because it's everywhere.
Okay.
So I'll just kind of get started, and I didn't do, here's what Leinenkugels makes. I didn't do, I did nothing like that.
Okay.
It's just mixed in summer shandy stuff with maybe a little bit here and there.
Okay.
Debuts in 2007.
Yes.
Right.
I wrote that down. Yeah.
And they made 30,000 barrels across 11 states. That was the distribution back then.
In that first year?
The first run.
Interesting.
Which is still a lot of beer.
That's a lot.
So they really took a shot on it.
Yes.
They were like, this is so good. We're going to make 30,000.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was like a seasonal, right? So it's 30,000, here we go. It sold pretty good.
Yeah.
Next year, 2008, 60,000 barrels.
Double.
2009, 100,000 barrels.
Woo.
2010, they're like, okay, enough of this Midwest bullshittery. We're going nationwide.
Yup.
And that's what they did.
You got 3 years worth of sales already.
Yeah, and
right?
it's kind of like, test markets here and there.
Yeah.
How's it do in Chicago? How's it do in Indiana? Wherever. Did good.
Yeah.
So they started pushing it out. And this is the reason why they feel like. It attracted drinkers that usually would be into cocktails and or wine.
Well, I mean, the lemon flavor up front, right? I mean, it's absolutely.
Because when I don't know if you guys do this, but whenever I have people at my house, I don't offer them anything other than beer to start with. I have other stuff, but I'm more like, let's find you a beer you like. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't like beer. It tastes like beer or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I try to figure it out. It's like my little superpower.
Yeah.
And I always have, probably, I don't know, right now, 15 to 20 different kinds of beer in my
Sure.
house, right? So maybe it's one can, but I got it.
Right.
So I'll figure out what people like. And this is one of those beers that most everybody can get into, I think. So 9 out of 10, and this was back in the day. I think this is still pretty accurate. 9 out of 10 Shandys sold in the United States is summer shandy.
Yeah.
90%.
90%.
They had the idea.
That is an astounding market share, by the way.
Right?
Astounding.
They had the idea. I think I wrote it down in my notes somewhere, maybe, or I just read it in one of the articles. One of the guys that was the marketing person and one of the ladies that was running like the research and development portion, they're like, we want this to be the next Kleenex.
Oh.
So it's like
Smart.
a brand
Yeah.
is the name for the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Right? Because
Yep.
no one says, hey, give me a Puffs Plus.
Band-Aid.
Yes. It's like, yeah.
Yep.
That's what they wanted to do with Summer Shandy.
Well, to their credit, I think they've done that.
They definitely have done that.
Yeah.
Yes. So Leinenkugels was bought out by Miller Coors in 1988. So that's, I was 10 years old at that time.
Freshman in high school.
And Dolan, not around quite
No,
yet.
no. I was hanging out with Dolan's dad. We were listening to Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, and who's the one he doesn't like?
Oh, Grateful Dead.
Not Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to my-
he was listening to the Doors.
Yeah, so
and
was I.
The Beatles.
God,
So was
your
I.
dad and I would have been such good friends.
It's not too late.
Wow.
No, that's true. We still. No, okay.
My dad was
Musically-
also musically
Yeah,
for sure.
You had some at
okay.
least talking points
Yeah.
to
Sure,
start off
sure.
with. Right now, I think currently is the 6th generation Leinenkugel working there.
I
running the
believe
place.
that is true.
I think his name's Dick. Dick Leinenkugel.
Dick Leinenkugel, yeah.
And he helps sell. He's more of a sales guy.
Which is astounding to me because Dick is an older name, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was my grandpa's name.
Yeah.
So-
maybe it's probably a family name would be my guess.
Like Richard Leinenkugel?
Or like, my grandfather's name was whatever.
Oh.
So like in my middle name, I think we talked about it recently, is Glenn, which I'm named after my grandfather, who I never met. And Oscar, my son, his middle name is Gregory, which is my dad's first name, and it's also my wife's dad's first name.
Oh.
So we have that. And my daughter, her middle name is May, which my grandma's name was Alta May. So we took that and stuck it in there. So we got some family nods. So I'm guessing Dick isn't 88 years old working at Leinenkugels, but
Yeah.
maybe he is.
You never know.
I don't know. I didn't dig into him that far. In-house at Miller Coors / Leinenkugel, they called the idea behind this beer Project Riptide.
Interesting.
They were a brewery that sold well, especially in the Midwest, but they did not have a flagship beer. They did not
Right.
have the Fat Tire.
No.
That was kind of the, I don't know, the golden coin they're trying, or the golden ring they're trying to get,
Yeah.
right? They're like, okay, we're doing pretty good, but we don't have a beer that defines us.
And everything I read too, like they went all in on this. Like you
Yes.
said it, 2007. Like
Yeah.
this was Miller's like this has to work.
Yes.
kind of thing.
They first tried and put out their amber. And that was going to be like their take on of the Fat Tire. Like,
Sure.
okay, we're going to go after that market and we're going to get those drinkers to check us out.
Legit. Okay.
Didn't quite make it. Still good beer, still out there. Then they did Sunset Wheat. You ever had that?
I think I've had that.
And that was to fight this new beer on the market called Blue Moon.
Oh.
A lot of younger college kids are drinking that, which is very similar to what we were talking about with New Belgium.
Absolutely.
Doing a reset,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so Sunset Wheat, if you haven't had it, it straight up tastes like Fruity Pebbles milk. That flavor that you get when you drink Fruity Pebbles,
Really?
that's what Sunset Wheat tastes like.
I'm surprised that didn't catch on. Honestly.
Yeah. I don't even know if they make it anymore, to be honest. It might be
Okay.
out there, but if I'm going for Leinenkugels, it's probably this beer. This is the one
Or
I
the
get.
grapefruit one.
The
The grapefruit shandy?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
grapefruit shandy.
I like the berry version.
Oh, the
the berry
that one's good.
Weiss. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like this one first, and then if I have to settle for a different Leinenkugels, it's the grapefruit shandy.
So they did some testing,
Okay.
market, share research. They have a beer called Honey Weiss.
Yep.
That was the #1 seller in Minnesota.
Interesting.
Their home state, number one, was their Sunset Wheat. And then Chicago was the classic amber.
That
I think Goose Island also had an amber back in the day.
Yeah.
And they kind of came up with this idea, right? So the first one that they were like going to push forward instead of this beer was a Hefeweizen.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And that doesn't
All right.
seem to have the same appeal.
No.
And then that became their Kolsch beer, which is called Canoe Paddler, which is a seasonal that's still out there.
I've seen that too. Yeah.
Over 8 months, they tried 30 different variations. They tried
Wow.
branded lemonade. They tried frozen concentrate. They tried lemonade, whatever they could do. They had different fruit flavors. They didn't know what they were going to come up with.
Okay.
They did know they wanted it to be sessionable for not higher than 4.5.
4.2.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be a light and summer beer, refreshing. And that was kind of their flag that they were like, okay, cannot be past this. So instead of real lemonade, they used lemonade flavor.
Natural lemonade flavor right on the front.
Because with real lemonade and that sugar, it kept pumping it up past that 4.5. And they're like, we don't want to.
Yeah.
We have to do this.
Well, on secondary fermentation, right? When it would start popping bottles after a while.
So they don't, and they couldn't ship it. They couldn't like guarantee that it was going to be fine.
Right.
And with the lemonade flavor, that's what they got. Now, I don't know how you get natural lemonade flavor. That's probably a trade secret of some sort.
Sure.
But that's what you got. And that's probably why it smells so lemony up front.
There's almost the kind of like lemon, and I don't mean this in a bad way, like a lemon hand soap kind of smell. Like that same smell you'd get from like the fresh lemon soap that you get at like Bath and Body Works.
Sure.
Kind of thing. Not a soap smell, the lemon smell.
Yeah, that makes sense, I think. You guys hit on a few of these. They have made 9 different variants of the Summer Shandy. They have a lemon berry, which I think is the one you were talking about. They had a cranberry ginger, which I would not care for because I hate ginger.
I would want to try it.
I'd give it a shot.
The grapefruit one.
Yeah.
They had one, I don't remember this at all, cocoa berry.
Cocoa.
So it's like chocolate and berry lemonade shandy mix, I guess.
I'd give it a shot.
The article I was reading was from 2019, and they were projecting by 2020 they were going to make 2 million barrels of this,
Of the cocoa?
of just the regular
just
summer
summer
shandy.
shandy.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if COVID messed that up.
It might have,
Maybe.
because what we talked about, especially back in those days, was a lot of people were giving mom and pops, a bigger chance because you could go order online and go pick it up and whatever. And unless you're there, you're not going to, you're not going to Leinenkugels
Nope.
tap house because I don't know that they have one anywhere else other than probably here.
Yeah.
Since this came out, some of the other bigger craft breweries have kind of ridden the coattails.
Why not?
And why not?
Yeah.
But these guys are still only making up 10% of that sales market. Boulevard, they have 2. They have the ginger lemon, and they have a cranberry orange.
I didn't know
They're
that.
Radlers. They come out.
Yeah.
Sam Adams, they have the Porch Rocker.
I had Porch Rocker's really, really
It's
good.
real good. I like
Yeah.
that one too.
Yep.
Great Divide has one.
Never had that one.
Goose Island has one. So there are some places that make these,
Okay.
but they just don't have the mass appeal that this one does. Back in it would have been 18, 19, back in those days, they did some research and they said that the 3 months that this is on the shelf, they sell more Leinenkugel's beer during that time than they do the run up for the week of the Super Bowl.
No kidding.
And they're like, okay, that's a lot of beer because the numbers we've talked about those before. How many billions of gallons of beer?
Right.
And this was pushing not only this beer but other beers of theirs as well that were on the shelf. So it was kind of like, we know we like this. Maybe we'll try another one of their same brand, right?
Sure.
So they got some like brand loyalty out of it too, which is impressive when you walk into the cooler and there's 50 right there.
Yep.
If you can get somebody to grab 2 of yours, you're winning the day.
Yep.
I'm gonna take a drink of this. Hold on.
I have passed it by a few times just because it has been there for so long. Now,
Sure.
I've got a fair amount of brand loyalty to Sam Adams, but I know others feel like Sam Adams is just like Leinenkugels, right? I mean, it's everywhere. You can get it anywhere you want. So try something else instead. I don't know. It's consistently good.
Yeah. It's just so much lemon. And it got just the right amount of tart. It's not sour. It's not going to turn you off.
For non-beer drinkers, like my wife, she would drink this. This is for her. Like, this is something that she would absolutely drink.
It stays on your tongue, too, and just makes you want to keep going.
Yeah.
Like a good lemon-flavored something should, right?
Where did I have this already this year? I can't remember. It was someplace, and I was like, okay, it's on the menu. It's time
It's summer.
to have my annual summer shandy. If you can have it on tap, that's my preferred way.
Yeah.
Pint glass, big frosty mug, whatever you can get your hands on, but bottles work too.
Yep.
So, before I get into the next batch, I'm going to do bonus beer number 1.
Oh.
Number one.
I'm excited by the number 1 here.
Yes, that means there's more than one bonus beer.
Okay.
But we're talking Shandys today. It's kind of a Shandy episode.
Yep.
So I brought one that is now in Nebraska, new to us. We've had a couple of their beers in the past. We might have even had a Shandy of theirs.
New
this,
to Nebraska, but not necessarily new to us because we've done an episode on this.
That's
before.
right.
Hoppin' Frog.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the Cranberry Turbo Shandy. Last year I had their Lemon Turbo Shandy, and it's turbo because it's high. ABV.
7%?
7%. So this one's cranberry. You go ahead and pour yours first.
So they're probably
Dangerous.
putting the real sugar in there. They're not.
They're probably putting they're
not
flavor.
doing the flavoring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now there is no color difference.
No. Oh, the smell is fantastic.
You would think with cranberries it'd have a little bit of a red,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look like
Smells
it.
like candy. It's legit smells like candy.
Well, I can't wait. I like candy.
Oh, it does smell like candy.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, that does smell good.
I mean, it tastes like candy. This should be
Oh,
against the
man.
law. This should legit.
That's really good.
Wow. And it's
That
7%.
cranberry really hits different,
It
doesn't
just
it?
punches. Yeah.
It's got a little more tartness than the lemon shandy we were drinking. Ooh, I like that very
You know
much.
when you buy fresh cranberries and you cut them in half or whatever and make some holiday cocktails with them or whatever.
Yeah.
It's when you have the cranberries left over and then you chew on them. That's exactly what it tastes like. I mean, it's cranberry through and through.
And this fits right in because, I mean, Hoppin' Frog's from Ohio, so not too far away.
Yep.
But they have just expanded their distribution. And, you know, now they're not available in all 50 states like
No.
Leinenkugels. However,
I bet you they're in the 20s.
I would
think.
probably high 20s.
Because they were in Missouri for a while, and they were in Iowa for
They were
a
in
while.
Iowa for a minute, or a minute, for a while. Yeah.
That's,
oh, boy, that's fantastic.
really good.
That one's tasty. Okay, this year, newsflash, 2023. If we can put in that ticker tape news sound. Breaking news. Old president out. New president in.
Of Leinenkugels?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh.
Or Miller Coors.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Miller Coors. And I didn't write down the person's name, but they show up and they're like, you know what? First day on the job, order of business. Summer Shandy needs to be available all year round.
Smart.
Let's do it.
Smart.
They tested it in other markets first,
Okay.
and it outsold their winter seasonals. So like Christmas or fall, like Oktoberfest, it still
Yeah.
sold more than that, even though they were making those, right? And they're like,
Makes
why?
sense.
Why is this the case?
To be fair, I'm going to go back to Sam Adams again. If I could get Sam Adams Summer Ale all year long, I'd be fine with that. Totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like their other offerings,
Sure.
the other seasonal offerings. Man, Summer Ale's good.
When did they do that?
This year,
This year.
Wow.
Okay, because I was gonna say there. I
starting in
remember
January.
seeing them over when it was cold and stuff in the store, and I'm like, man, they
that
had
old?
to have
Yeah.
had this for
Yeah.
all fall, and so it kind of turned me away from it. I'm like, it's kind of weird. But that makes sense now. So I didn't know that it was all year round.
I didn't either until I
Yeah.
did the research. But I would have thought the same as you. I would have been like at a gas station and been like, oh, this is from like July or
Yeah.
something. But
Yep.
no, that's not the case anymore.
That is smart.
I mean, it makes sense to me. And
Yep.
it's like, your Sam Adams thing. If you go in the store in January, like I'm probably going to look for their vanilla porter because Leinenkugels has a great vanilla porter. I might grab this too.
Yeah.
And it's because they said one of the reasons they thought it was selling so well is a lot of the country, especially where they're from, it's super cold and snowy, and they're just like, we need a break.
I wish it
We
was
need
summer.
some tropical flavor. We need to, boost your mood. Like, let's get out of the snow and let's have this beer.
Yep.
And that's what it does.
When you're-
You can't drink this and not feel like you're outside in the summertime.
When you want to be sitting by a pool, when you can't, right? Because it's 20 degrees outside, but you want to be. This will get you there.
Or not to mention, it's still warm in the South. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
a beer like this would still be good all year round.
Yeah.
I have noticed this is all over Las Vegas. Like this is a choice in Las Vegas, virtually everywhere.
Oh, really?
So you don't necessarily always get Sam Adams. You don't necessarily get some of the other choices you would think.
Yeah.
But man, you see that summer Shandy tap handle.
The canoe.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really easy to see.
Where I've seen multiple places just recently.
I remember where I had it this year, and it was at the Papio whatever bowling alley.
Oh.
I had it like a month ago during spring break,
Yep.
and man, it tasted good. Throwing my ball down the lane,
I bet. Yeah.
and it's 4.2.
Did you get some greasy bowling alley food?
No, we went home and cooked, but
No.
we had the kids with us, and it was a blast.
You know what grosses me out about bowling alley food is it's all finger food.
Yeah.
Right? So you're rolling balls, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and then you go and you eat with
Yeah.
the same hand.
That's why you have your own ball.
Yeah.
It's still like touching. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm
I,
just a germaphobe. Thanks, COVID.
I love
But don't
when
know.
I eat French fries and then like I go and bowl.
Yeah.
And then I go and bowl again and then I've got my French fry grease all in my bowling ball.
Yeah.
You get
You're
better
like, ooh,
spin
this
off
will
of
help
it?
me because I
Yeah.
can throw the ball faster.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding.
Doesn't work that way.
Throw it in the other lane next to me on accident because it slips off.
I might know a guy named Rarrell Divers who got kicked out of a bowling alley for putting runts in the fingers holes of a bunch of bowling balls once.
Really?
Yeah. That's neither here nor there. That's no beer talk.
I bet he was drinking beer when he did it.
No, we were in high school. We wouldn't have done that. Juicy Peach
Okay. Yeah.
Session Sour.
I feel like I've had this.
It's their new
If it's,
Riptide. It's their new thing.
Really?
if it's new, then I haven't had
It's
it.
in. They do have a summer shandy mix pack currently,
Okay.
and it's in cans. I only saw it in cans at the store, but it's in those mix packs, and I think they're going to be selling it as a 6-pack on its own soon, if it's not already. I did a little bit of research. We talked about last episode hard tea.
Yes. I feel like it's coming. I feel it.
I think you're right. So I was reading an article about that, and at the end of that article, they were talking about the next new flavor is going to be peach for beer, for adjunct beer, for seltzers. It's going to be it's going to be huge this year. Everywhere you look, it's going to be peach.
Peach.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I just had one called Muscle Peach not too long ago. That was
like Muscle Beach.
fantastic.
Peach does bad things to my belly, but
You like the flavor.
I love the flavor. Kincaidor does a white peach, and I've made the mistake of drinking too many of those the night before, and then trying to get on an airplane the next day. That's a bad
That's
idea.
not good for Rich.
There isn't enough Imodium in the world to stop those peaches from making their exits.
Oh man, I have a peach tree in my backyard.
Oh.
Peaches.
I'm getting ready. I'll bring you some.
No, don't do that. So the market, they did research on this, right? And they said it's going to outperform 90% of all other food and beer additives or ingredients.
Peach.
Yes. And it's going to boost 137% all peach flavored alcohols. Peach
Interesting.
infused vodka, peach tea, like what hard tea, like any sort of beer, you're going to see peach everywhere this year. That's their prediction.
Get back in the Wayback Machine with me.
Okay.
Okay. Bartles and James. I seem to remember this from when my mom was drinking Bartles and James.
Yeah.
Peach was like that was a big thing. And I believe, now this is pre-internet, right? Kind of the same thing. Like they pushed that hard. They pushed the peach Bartles and James very, very hard. It worked for a bit, but then it kind of faded away.
Yeah.
Do you think this is history repeating itself then? Maybe.
Well, maybe if you like amped it up by 50, right? Because Bartles and James was a very niche market, right? My dad wasn't buying Bartles and James.
No, but
would my dad buy a peach beer? Probably also not, but he would drink it if you gave him one.
Chicks around your dad were drinking Bartles and James.
That's probably true.
Here's my my if I had to guess why peach would do this, or why peach adjunct, I guess, would be this. The last couple of years, the peaches, like the peach farms or whatever, haven't been able to do very good in sales. We used to buy Colorado peaches all the time. The last 2 years, it has been California peaches being sold in Colorado.
Really?
So I wonder,
Is it just environmental reasons? Like they just couldn't grow them?
there's a bunch of reasons, and in fact, I talked to the guy at the stand about them, and I don't remember any of them. So,
Awesome.
yeah, but I wonder if this isn't an attempt to make deals everywhere you can to get your peaches in beers and candies and teas and all sorts of things.
Peach is an easy adjunct. It
is.
The flavor comes through very well, unlike watermelon, for example. Or
And it's got some sweetness. It's got a little tartness, so it's got enough to like tantalize you a little bit, but not to go overboard. Last bonus beer.
Bonus beer number 2.
It's called Squeeze the Day.
Squeeze the day.
Carpe diem. Almost. I don't know what the Latin would be for squeeze, but this is Nebraska Brewing Company.
That's a great label.
It's very awesome. That's what grabbed my eye.
Right.
It's like the official beer of the Nebraska Marathon. Although it's a half marathon right here because it got 13.1 on the Lemon's belt buckle.
We have a marathon?
Yeah.
Or half marathon?
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I know we have the corporate cup run.
There's also the Lincoln Marathon, which is bigger than the Omaha one. There's also Market to Market.
Yeah,
Haymarket to Old Market.
A few of us have done the
We have-
Market to Market.
yeah.
Steve Ryan did.
Yeah. I
So
did
there's-
not.
No, I drive it. I'll drive you there.
Sure.
I'll
I
cheer
would
you
not
on.
want to run from Omaha to Lincoln. No
I could be the
thanks.
driver that like picks up and drops people off. That's fine.
I'll
Yeah.
drive you there. Somebody's going to have to drive you home.
Yeah.
That's just my deal.
Yeah.
Lemon Radler. It's a wheat ale with lemon. So Radler, Shandy, virtually the same thing.
Interchangeable.
Radler is the German word for Shandy, basically. So you're talking
Okay.
lemonade and beer. Usually
Mixed together.
50-50.
Okay. Are you guys familiar with the those cans? They're kind of like a plain can with grapefruit, and it just says grapefruit Radler on it.
Yes.
Who does that by? I cannot think about who does that.
Stiegel?
Stiegel.
That's
There
it.
you
Yeah,
go.
They make
That's-
lemon too.
That's it. That is my wife's favorite drink. Like when we go to Beercade, that's
Yeah.
her go-to.
So those are, I mean, this is more of a European style, and we've kind of co-opted it recently, especially with this one hitting the market. Now there's smaller places like Nebraska Brewing is way smaller than Leinenkugel.
Wait, yep.
But they've got one now, and it's delicious. Like, I didn't even want to bring this one today, I'm going to be honest, but I was like, ooh, I have to, because we're doing this Shandy
Yeah.
and Radler episode. It's, I mean, that's a wheat beer.
It is a way lighter color. It's
Yeah,
almost
sounds like a wit.
Yeah, it looks like a wit.
Yeah.
Now smell it.
Yeah.
Is it reminiscent of the Leinenkugel's lemon? It's a little muted, right?
It's a little more muted, yeah.
It's more real lemon
That's
juice,
exactly right. If you were to like, let's say you peel, like you do lemon zest, maybe
Okay.
that's the smell
Yeah.
you're getting.
So I wonder what's
You got
the
a cup over
ABV
there,
on that
Dawn?
one. Yes.
Here, get some of that before I get to it.
The lemon flavor is way more muted.
Uh-huh.
But man, you can drink a lot of that. For sure.
What's the ABV on that one then?
4%.
Okay.
Wow.
13 IBUs.
So even less than Summer
Yes.
Shandy.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it is definitely muted. It's not in your face like the Leinenkugels.
Still really, really good. That's
Wow.
I mean, this is a place.
I mean, it's smaller than Hop and Frog, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
For sure.
It's one of the so it was one of the first in Nebraska, but it isn't. But by volume, they don't do near what
No.
others do.
And they kind of like they're one of the ones that had some downsizing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were also the first kind of local craft beer place that I got into.
Yeah.
They had a Belgian IPA. It was called hop something. I can't remember.
Good for
that
them,
was 10
though.
years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the name.
Yeah.
They've won multiple gold medals at Great American Beer Festival.
Yep. Well, and two of the best brewers in Nebraska came from there, right? I mean, that's so.
So that's
Yep.
and this is honestly, they don't make a lot of new beers at this place.
Right.
And this one was new and I never had it. And the logo was great and the kind of beer it fit for what I was doing that day. It was hot. I think when I bought these beers, it was like in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we'll go with this.
Well, if you look behind the curtain a little bit, I'm going to be there next week.
At this place?
Yeah, because they're doing next week will be May the 4th, and we're doing Star Wars trivia.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
so I think that's where we're going to go.
You know that those guys have a podcast as well.
They do.
Nebraska Brewing Company
Really?
has a podcast.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, check them out.
Yep. Okay, so let's talk about all three of these then.
Yeah.
Which one do you prefer?
Well, I haven't tried this one yet again today.
Try that one. Dolan, which one do you prefer?
The Hop and Frog, the Cranberry Turbo Shandy. I mean, first off, is it even a beer? Like, it's that good. It's so good.
It does taste like liquid candy.
Yeah, it does. Now, could I have 6 of them? Yes. Could I have 7? I don't know.
Probably shouldn't. That's 7%.
7%.
7%.
That's the other thing. It hides 7%.
Yeah.
I mean, you would not.
That's what's dangerous about
It's
the
dangerous.
Hop and Frog.
Yeah.
Right.
All of their flavors,
Yes.
really. Their blueberry one, especially. You get their
Yeah.
blueberry shandy. That one is like, I don't even know, blueberry pie filling, right? It's so sweet and good.
Yep. With national distribution, they could give some of these a run for their money, quite
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting when I read that 90% market share stuff. And then we, tried these other two. And they're both of them way different, right? Like the Nebraska Brewing one tastes more like a real beer, if you know what I mean.
It
Like, it tastes
does.
like it has real ingredients in it.
It does.
And I like that one. That's my favorite of the three. Summer Shandy, it's just got a place in my heart. You know, like I probably had it. Every year since it came out,
Yep.
probably since we could get it. It's one of those beers I buy a 6-pack every year. I have it, and I move on to the next thing that maybe I haven't tried before. But I always try it every year.
See, and I'm going to stick with the old reliable. I'm going to stick with Summer Shandy. I mean,
Yep.
that was my favorite. Now, the others were good, but I like reliability. I like consistency.
Yeah.
And that's a marketer's dream right there. You own 90% of the
Yeah.
market.
Yeah, I thought businessman Rich would like that.
Oh
part.
my goodness!
Yeah.
I mean, my head it just spins thinking about. Okay, they set out to be the Kleenex, right? They set out to be the Band-Aid, the name,
Yeah.
and that's what they've done.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I could drink Summer Shandy. I could drink all 3 of these beers, but Summer Shandy is, you're right. When it comes to consistency, I know what I'm getting into. I know, whether or not someone's probably going to like it or not, because
Yeah.
I know exactly what it's going to taste like. There's a few beers out there where I'm like, oh man, you should try this. And it's so good. And then, somebody tries it and they're like, well, I don't know. And then I try it. I'm like, well, this isn't how I remember it.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get that with Summer Shandy. It's going to be the same. It's going to be
Yeah.
consistent.
Right.
It's good.
I mean, a +1 for them is that you really can get it anywhere,
Anywhere.
and it tastes
Yep.
good. There's actually some flavor there.
Yep.
Unlike a lot of the beers we've done maybe in past years, there's not a lot of flavor there. You're not going to turn anybody on to beer in a way that
Right.
you haven't before.
All right, TripAdvisor, 4.5 out of 5 on 705 reviews. That's it.
Yeah.
705.
That seems low.
Which seems crazy
For
to
Summer
me.
Shandy?
No. Well, this is TripAdvisor.
Yeah.
Oh.
They went there. Yeah, no,
TripAdvisor.
not Untapped.
Turbo Frog has gotten to Dolan's.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
All right. Here we go. 7%.
Old Zebra 45678. That's his name, Zebra 45678.
I like it.
I guess so. He has quite a few reviews on there. So
it's not just a
fly
one and
by
done.
night. Yeah. He said, "Horrible tour, waste of time."
Uh-oh. Is this
Now,
Brian from Boca all over again?
Another tour one.
Here is how you know the dude he has no idea. He just has no idea. Here we go. I love the original Leinenkugels beer.
Oh,
What, from 1868?
Yeah, which one? The German style?
The original, probably just the original lager or whatever.
I don't
The
know.
blue and white can. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
Maybe.
It's just Leinenkugels. That's all
Yeah.
it is.
But this brewery tour was a complete waste of time.
Oh,
yeah.
I should have
Here we
just
go.
sat home.
First off, no photos.
Well,
Okay,
okay.
fine. All right. You
weird.
would think a small brewery like this,
Yeah,
you know.
he has. Yeah, okay.
right there, that relies on sales of their horrible Shandy craft beers, would want you to take photos and post them all over social media. Nope, no photos on the inside.
Hey, bud, they don't need your help with their marketing.
I don't think so.
No,
90%. Nope. You get to see 2 vats, listen to some history of the brewery, watch beer move down the line to the washer, and see pallets of beer. That's about it. Total waste of time. The beer sampling tour is $5. No way I would ever take this tour again. 1 star.
$5.
Dude has
to try
no
some
idea.
beers and go to the brewery,
Oh, man.
and he thinks they're like a mom and pop.
Yep.
They're gonna
You
close
would-
next year because I wrote this review. No,
You would think a small brewery. I knew it. As soon as I read it, I'm like,
You're like,
yep, that's the one.
bro.
This dude has no idea. None.
Yikes. I don't
Now-
write reviews. That's a good thing.
To be fair, he wrote it in 2016, but
I mean,
You'd think a small
it's only gotten
brewery.
bigger,
right.
so it worked on the opposite
Yeah.
side of that, buddy.
Untapped. 290,200
This
reviews.
has to be one of the highest, besides like a Budweiser.
It's probably one of the higher ones we've done. Yeah, 290,000. You've checked it in multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
I've checked it in
This is
multiple
one of those
times.
beers. It's an event beer.
Yeah.
I'll check it in at an airport or a hockey game or something. Bowling alley.
Olive Garden.
352. That's what I'm going. 352.
I mean, it is. Yeah, I'm gonna say. Oh boy, I don't want to. I'm gonna say 342.
For the second week in a row,
Dolan?
Dolan is correct.
No way.
3.52.
I don't believe
I
this.
feel like he's cheating.
Did you do some research?
I didn't.
Show
I
me your
swear,
hands.
I swear.
Show me your hands.
They're all
up your sleeve.
spotted with the beer bottle cap. I was pushing it into my hand. I don't know.
Oh my
3.52.
Nothing. Oh, that's
You better
insane.
get to Vegas
Two
soon.
weeks in
Hey,
a
this
row.
is crazy.
Buy yourself a lottery ticket.
Yeah, you got a meet and greet somewhere that's got gambling.
No, not right
bummer.
now.
Man. Oh.
All right, I don't like this. That Dolan's getting it right every time. Huh?
Okay, well, that wraps up Mainstream May. I think
Yeah.
this one was probably one of my favorites by far. By far.
This month of May.
This month. Because we've done mainstream beers before, but we've done, PBR
Sure.
and, beers like that we can get anywhere all the time.
Well, these ones had different flavors.
Yep.
And maybe they're not totally craft anymore, but they started that way. And
when you're sitting at the Applebee's, and I use that loosely,
Sure.
and you look down the row of taps, right?
Yeah.
Coors Light, Miller Lite, Bud Light, and then there's always one, right? There's
Leinenkugel.
always something. It's usually one of the ones that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually. Or
Sam
Sam
Adams.
Yeah.
Leinenkugel.
Yep. Usually. Depends on where you are. Depends on where you are, what state you're in. Boulevard. Yeah. If you're anywhere near Kansas City, it's a Boulevard tap
Sure.
as well. So
They were all good.
Yep.
Sierra Nevada.
None of those. You will not go wrong with any of those. But like Brian said, it's time to get back to the big chewy
Yeah.
type beers that we're used to.
Yeah. Next week, I think we're getting doing Ute Pills.
We do. We do a
Pills.
traditional German style.
Yeah.
Same part of the country here as Chippewa Falls.
Yep.
But a very German style
Yeah.
that I was kind of surprised that we would get. And then, a few more after that. And then maybe our hard tea episode. Do you see I'm pushing this? Because
Yeah.
I enjoy the Arnold Palmer.
Uh-huh.
I enjoy a hard iced tea.
Okay.
So
You enjoy a twisted tea?
I enjoy a twisted tea.
Oh,
I
boy.
do too. Yeah.
Me too.
I really like the twisted teas.
Well, you guys are the bosses, so Put it on the schedule and we'll do it.
Get
All
into
right.
that maybe.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in the middle of June will be our 250th episodes.
Yeah, you won't want to miss that.
Yeah,
We're going to do 250 beers.
Oh my gosh.
right.
All
Shotgun.
right. I'm
Straight
in.
shotgun.
I'm in. We're going to have to do it from a hospital bed, but I'm in.
All right.
Our livers are going to hate us.
Yep.
They already do.
Dude, we prep every week. Come on, you're tough.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I have to eat, I don't usually eat breakfast,
Yeah.
And if I do eat breakfast, I skip lunch. Mm-hmm. Tuesday, I have breakfast and lunch.
Good call.
I need to.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yep.
And these were all, well, except for the Hoppin' Frog, sessionable. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, 1, 2, 3 of them.
it adds up a little
Pretty
bit.
good. Yeah. In 45, 50 minutes. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
We are on minute 41. So
Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
Right there. All right. Well, so until then, we're not going anywhere for a while.
Let's go take a nap.
Thank you for listening to A Beer with Atlas. Special thanks to our brand team for producing the show. Each episode of A Beer with Atlas is powered by Atlas MedStaff, an industry leader in travel healthcare staffing.